Document management refers to the process in which your organization stores, manages, transmits, and tracks electronic and hard copy documents. Now, to offer a qualifier, I'm not talking about the creation of the documents as it relates to the content, as those are the standards that exist in CSI. What I'm talking about is what happens once the documents are created. So, the first question to ask is, do you have a process? Do you have a standardized process? Is your process implemented company-wide? Is your process clearly defined or replicated by current and future team members? While some of you may be nodding your head, indicating that there is in fact a process, one that is clearly defined and implemented, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Not everyone is following that process. That is where potential risks and pitfalls can arise. Chinks in the company armor, if you will. And that's what we're going to talk about today. What are the inherent and mostly avoidable risks associated with not having a standardized document process in your company? How it affects the organization from a macro, company-wide level, and a micro, individual level. I promise it will not be completely boring. There will be explosions, controlled of course. So let's start with how your organization stores and names documents. Once a document is created, we store it either locally on our desktop client, a server, in a cloud-based server, or for some, in an accordion file in a file cabinet. At the very inception of this document, we begin the snowballing effect of risk in our document process. You see, despite the standards and naming conventions for contract documents, specifications, sections, and drawings, most people do not follow the same conventions in often subtle but potentially disastrous ways. For example, a drawing may exist as A800 building sections. One person in an organization might name it A800 with no dash. One might save it as A space dash space 800 with a space between the dashes, and one might include a description. One might omit the description. The permutations are vast. The same goes with specified sections, spaces, dashes, dots, descriptions, no descriptions. So what's the big deal? When you open the file, it's still the same. But the problem arises in storage, management, and versioning of that file. Almost every system utilizes a hierarchical folder structure where documents exist in either an alpha or numeric sorted designation. That means that depending on the characters used, documents can be organized sporadically throughout the file hierarchy. Most systems, including the largest software platforms in the industry, perform versioning, revision tracking, and overriding of replaced documents based on the file naming convention. That is where the duplication and omission can occur. In the example above, if one person utilizes a drawing or spec section with an extra space or a dash instead of a dot, it can create a duplicated copy of the document. If the document itself does not indicate that it is a revised document, either through date or markup, then both documents can be disseminated to consultants, owners, prospective bidders, or even local and state enforcement agencies, resulting in potential project delays, approval issues, or questions. All of this can create extra costs or raise inherent risks, which can turn be bad for your brand, both personal and company. Once your company has a standardized method for naming, the question then shifts to accessibility. If you save a spec section on your local desktop client, only those with access to your computer can access the file. If you save it on a network computer, then anyone in the organization can access this file. And if you save this project document in a cloud-based system, then anyone with access to the cloud can access or be granted access to the document. Having redundancy with data recovery is crucial in today's technological environment. But remember the joke about that accordion folder? That still exists. There are countless examples of the sole working set of documents for a project existing in a hard copy document, in a folder, in a file cabinet. No redundancy, no ease of accessibility, and limited ability to transmit that set easily to others involved in the project phases. Accessibility of documents is crucial in preventing delay, meeting required deadlines. I can't tell you how many times we have come across a discrepancy in a transmitted document, be it a missing sheet, an incorrect version, or even a corrupted file, only to be told that John at XYZ Company has that document and he's gone for the day and the computer is locked. Or worse, to have someone bring in a set of hard copy documents that is professed as the only working set in existence, which of course was properly maintained by having coffee spilled on it, edges torn, a little concrete on the noted dimension, or used as an umbrella while running to the car or to the office. I promise you, I'm not joking. And there are more than one example of this happening. In fact, according to the McKinley Global Institute study, construction is one of the least digitized industries. But your organization might be different. In fact, your firm might tout itself as one of the leaders in technological adoption when it comes to design, construction management, and dissemination of information. The question I would ask is, are you sure? Even companies who are more forward-thinking when it comes to adopting technology still have silos within their organization. In fact, according to a recent study by JB Knowledge Construction Technology, 77.4% of firms use 2 or more software applications, most of which are not even integrated with one another. Even with technology adoption, there are still vast examples of manual processes that inflate risk potential within these firms that adopt and harp on technology. Remember the naming convention I referenced earlier? Even the most advanced systems that tout OCR recognition, versioning control, history, or offer document management services as part of their package are based on a set of rules. Even the most advanced systems rely on assumptions made by user choice. Back to the example earlier. If a sheet is saved as A space dash space 800, and then the revised sheet is A dash 800 with no spaces, both instances can still exist in the same system. Even worse, if an export issue occurs and A801 is saved as A dash 800, the wrong information is uploaded in the system, and then it's transmitted to the project team, including the owner, which again can have negative impacts on your brand, create rework, project delays, all of which can impact project cost and your company's bottom line. So, how is this prevented? Having a standardized naming convention in your company can prevent the snowballing effect. In addition, while the above example is very minute detail, I can tell you that over the last 15 years, the sheer amount of citable examples of bad naming conventions for files causing headaches, delays, and rework is far greater than you can even imagine. In 2018, Fales Management Institute performed a research study on the amount of hours wasted after examining 1,000 firms as a sample size. The study revealed that on average, close to 14 hours a week were wasted. 5.5 hours looking for project data and information, 4.7 hours on conflict resolution, and 3.9 hours dealing with rework and correcting mistakes. So, what would 14 hours of extra time mean in your world? So what's the big deal? A sheet is named incorrectly. Something is sent to the owner that is wrong. A change order is issued due to inaccurate documents. When the wrong documents are transmitted, things can go wrong. We've heard stories as bad as improper fabrication of panels, the wrong carpet ordered, the wrong quantity of HVAC units, slabs poured in the wrong location, one wall shorter than the other, or demolition of the wrong walls. But is that the worst thing that could happen? But seriously though, not having a cohesive document strategy can have resounding negative impacts on your brand. If you look at the entire design construction process, like a customer experience, with the owner, consultants, contractors, vendors, suppliers involved, having a negative experience can grossly impact your brand, your reputation, the ability to win work, maintain relationships, or even stay in business. After all, for all of us, the person or entity or corporation paying for the development in the first place is the most important customer. According to HubSpot market research, customer experience is of critical importance to the sustained growth of a business. In fact, a negative customer experience, be it cost overruns, project delays, poor construction or rework issues, or a building falling down, can cause a negative experience with the project owner, resulting in the loss of future business, or worse, litigation. So how can document process help alleviate these risks? We've mentioned a few examples of the problems. So here are a few suggestions. Have a consistent and streamlined naming convention for all files stored and disseminated across your company. On large projects, consider using numeric sequencing or numbering to ensure that files are in the correct order. For individual file storing and transmission, even if you opt to transmit a group PDF, remember the alphanumeric sort mechanism, meaning when exporting or combining files in a group PDF, they will always fall in an alphanumeric sort. So general sheets will be after the architecturals, after the civils, and after the electricals, despite where they fall on the index. For spec sections and drawings, keep it simple. Long file names and descriptions can create issues when zipping or extracting from a zip file, and can often cause omissions in downloads or transmission. Make sure you double-check your files for accuracy. Seems redundant, but again, we have seen too many instances of a file naming convention not matching what is actually enclosed when you open the document. Think of data transmission as a presentation of your data. Do you want to send a data dump of files randomly scattered throughout subfolders to the owner? That's like taking a deck of cards, a brand new deck, perfectly in order, and playing 52 card pickup, and then saying, here you go. Ensure whatever platform or system you use for delivery does not have convoluted accessibility requirements. I cannot tell you how many times people send us the original transmission from insert platform here because they have no clue how to access the documents. Most importantly, make sure everyone in your organization is following the same standards. Do not invest in an expensive software platform or IT overhaul only to have a team member circumvent the entire process by sending an attachment via Outlook. Thank you for taking a moment to listen and watch a little bit about what document process means.